Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first story is titled, Am I the A-hole for agreeing with my family's unhappiness about my cousin's pregnancy? My, 31 female, younger cousin, 28 female, recently found out she's pregnant. She's really excited, but she found out she's having triplets. The dad, 45 male, is a real piece of work and won't be in the picture, and can't offer financial support. She doesn't make very much money, and she has no savings. I myself have 2 kids, and even with the financial and emotional support of my partner, it can be very stressful. Over the past few weeks, I've gently tried to tell her that it may not be green pastures ahead. She doesn't even have a functional car right now. It's like her head is stuck in the sand, and she's only talking about how amazing it will be, how blessed she is, how it's a miracle, how she'll just figure it out. On Christmas Eve, she surprised the rest of the family with the news after doing a big surprise scavenger hunt that led to 3 onesies. Her mom already knew, but told grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, etc. She didn't get the reaction she was hoping for. Some people told her she should consider her options like adoption or abortion, even though some are very conservative and pro-life. Some talked to her about how hard this will be, asked about how she will afford this, wanted to know what support the dad would be giving, etc. It was not very celebratory. I could tell she was upset, and she left early. I went to talk to her this morning in her studio apartment. I told her I was sorry for everyone's reaction, but that I could see where the family was coming from and that they just wanted the best for her and were concerned. I asked her what she expected the reaction to be, and she told me she thought everyone would rally together to help her now and to offer a bunch of help once the babies arrived. She expected financial support too. I told her that she can't rely on others like that, and she'll likely have to figure a lot of this out on her own if she goes through with it. She told me that I'm horrible, that our family is terrible, and that we all deserve each other, and that unless she gets our support, she'll cut us all out. Then she told me to leave. In some ways, I think it is a reality check, but the more I think about it, I also know how overwhelming it is to be pregnant, and I'm sorry that she didn't get any happy reactions or offers of support. Especially because in the past, other family members have gotten very happy family reactions when sharing their pregnancies. Am I the a-hole for agreeing with the rest of our family? Comment said, not the a-hole. She says she will go to NC, but I promise you she will remember everyone's phone number when she needs financial assistance. You did the right thing by talking to her privately and gently about the realities. If she keeps the babies, then she'll find that out quickly enough. Another comment said, not the a-hole. But your cousin is going to get a hell of a reality check. Since she's having triplets, she's basically guaranteed to have her children in the NICU due to prematurity. She'd be incredibly lucky if this didn't happen. Caring for 3 newborns is going to take more than one person, and it doesn't sound like she understands this. She can't just assume family is going to financially support her and be her full-time nannies. That isn't realistic. Her life is about to get really hard. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to drop charges against a 16-year-old? My brother, 17 male, lives with me, 25 female, and my husband, 26 male, full since both our parents passed away in an accident last February. He's a great kid, but losing our parents made him a quiet, sad young boy. I've tried to encourage him to attend therapy so he can work on his grief, but he has refused every single time, telling me that he's not ready yet. I get it. Everyone works at their own pace, and as long as he's not deliberately hurting himself, I won't pressure him. I try to be as involved in his life as I can without it being overwhelming. We both enjoy movie nights or binge-watch shows on the weekends, and he also helps my husband with his old car. Before our parents' passing, my brother had a GF, 16. She seemed like a good kid too, but after the funeral, my brother decided that being in a relationship wasn't what he needed at the time and broke up with her. Totally valid. But she didn't take it good and was sure that my brother only needed some love to heal. Last month, she began to drop letters and gifts to our door, and my brother refused to open them every single time. She used to message and call him too, and I could see the distress on my brother's face. The worst thing happened last Friday. It was my brother's birthday, and my husband and I decided to take him out. When we got back, he went to his room, and as soon as he did it, he came down running. Now, his ex found her own way into my house, arranged his room with photos of him with her, their friends, and our family, put some balloons, and was waiting for him with a cake. Mind you, this is creepy as duck, so while my husband entertained her, I called the police, and they took her for trespassing private property. My brother is thankful, but my husband and the kids' parents are sure I'm overreacting and that I should drop the charges because she's trying to do something nice. Little update, I just talked to my brother and we agreed on getting a restraining order no matter what. He'll be switching rooms since he told me that he can't sleep there anymore. Our guest room is a bit smaller, but he says that he doesn't care. That's it for now. He hasn't said anything about therapy or dropping the charges. Comment said, not the a-hole. Let's do the gender reverse test. A 16-year-old boy is broken up with by his girlfriend and sends her a bunch of letters, gifts, and eventually breaks into her house and bedroom. She's turned into a stalker, OP, and you need to protect your brother from her. Another comment said, not the a-hole. That's stalking. It doesn't matter how sweet her intentions are, that's what she's doing. Her youth and femininity do not give her a pass. She was told to stop. She did not. Instead, she displayed a clear pattern of escalating behavior. There's no reason to believe she won't decide to take it further if she gets away with this. This is a life lesson she needs to learn. It doesn't matter how harsh anyone else thinks it is. You don't break into someone's house and play victim when there are consequences. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to change how my family does inheritance? My family has a tradition involving inheritance. Children receive sentimental items and a token cash amount, and grandchildren get a trust set up for their future. It works for our family and has for a few generations now. My brother blew his trust during the dot-com bubble, but his kids still have money for university and to get a start on life. It's a way to keep one generation from messing everything up. I'm doing my will, and my daughter has approached me about her inheritance. She informed me that she was going to be child-free. I respect her decision. I told her that her inheritance from myself would be some souvenirs from her childhood trips and about $5,000. She said that she knew that each of her brother's children was receiving substantially more than that in their trust. I said that she had received her trust from her grandmother and that was how it worked. She thinks it's unfair that her decision will lead to her getting less money. She refuses to understand that even if she had 10 children, she would not be getting any more than what she's already getting. She called the family tradition ridiculous and patriarchal, which is odd because, as stated, her trust came from her grandmother. She thinks I'm an a-hole for not changing how things are done. I told her that our family has been doing this for a long time and it works. Am I the a-hole? Comments said not the a-hole. But I think the fundamental issue is that you both view an inheritance from you differently. I think she's seeing this as how much is she getting and how much are her brothers getting. But the point of the inheritance from you is not to make things equal between your sons and your daughter. The point of this inheritance is to help future generations. There are no future generations coming from her, so she doesn't get extra money. If I were you discussing this with her, I would avoid getting sidetracked into discussions about how her brothers are getting more, how unfair it is, etc. Every time she tries, bring it back to the core point of the inheritance, which is concerned with supporting future generations. Turn the tables on her. Ask her, was it unfair for her grandparents to give her money? Should you ask her and her brother to give that inheritance back to you? Does it not make sense to ensure that future children are cared for? Etc. Another comment said, not the a-hole. She has zero power over how you split your inheritance. Seems like you're trying to split it equally based on how your parents have done, which makes you kind of a nice person not making your decision based on how much you like a certain child. It's her decision not to have children, she's already been granted a privileged start of life, and she needs the money less than your grandchildren. She's the a-hole for trying to take what you want to give to someone else. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for causing a family rift because I don't want to sleep outside in my mom's yard on Christmas? I, 18F, am the youngest out of 4 kids. My siblings are 31M, 28F, and 25M. We were raised by our dad and stepmom, and our bio mom lives in another country with her husband. She wants me and my siblings to spend Christmas with her this year and has offered to pay for our transport and visas. My siblings are all married and have kids and are going to bring their spouses and kids with them. Our mom's house is quite big, and she said that she'll spread out air mattresses in the living room and there's a guest room. She didn't say anything specifically to me about where I'd be sleeping, so I assumed I'd be sleeping on one of the air mattresses. Well, one of my brothers told me that my mom expects me to sleep in a tent outside. I honestly thought he was messing with me, but when I asked my mom about it, turns out she did. The conversation wasn't in English, but it basically went like this. Me. Brother's name said that you expect me to sleep outside in a tent? Is this true? Mom. Yeah, I thought you'd be fine with having your own tent. Me. Why didn't you talk to me about it? Mom. I didn't think it'd be a problem. Is it a problem? Me. It is. I don't want to sleep outside. Mom. I don't know what you want me to do. There's too many of you. Me. Can I sleep on the couch? Mom. No. Husband's name likes to watch TV late. You'll be a nuisance. Me. I don't know then, but I'm not sleeping outside. I'd rather not go. My mom told all my siblings about the conversation, and now they're all mad at me and told me to suck it up and go. They said I'm being selfish and making a fuss about nothing, and that I can't expect any of them to sleep outside with their spouses or kids. I told my dad about it, and he's now royally pissed off with my mom and said that she's being a mega idiot and alienating me on purpose, and they had a huge argument on the phone. My siblings are all mad at me for causing this. Comment said, not the a-hole. The fact that your stepdad wanting to watch TV at night is more important than you being able to sleep inside tells you exactly where you stand in your mother's priority list. If your a-hole siblings continue to pretend that sleeping outside in a tent during winter isn't a big deal, tell them that you accept their offer to switch beds with them. Another comment said, not the a-hole. Your mother and her husband are putting you below his desire to watch TV at night. He can suck it up and skip TV for a few days, or he can move the TV to the bedroom for the duration of the visit and watch TV in the comfort of his own bedroom. Or he can move the TV to a tent in the yard and watch it out there. The last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for leaving my home and telling my husband I won't return unless his family leaves? So, for context, my 26F husband's 33M grandmother, 78F, had a cancer removal procedure on her face, and it left half her face with no skin. She needs wound care, home health once a week. Bandage needs changed every other day, though. I told him she could stay temporarily, but not long term. We live in a one-bedroom house with our 2 kids, almost 2M and 1F, as well as our 3 German Shepherds. She initially stayed 3 weeks. His cousin, 20F, and I would help with wound care when home health wasn't here. His grandmother expects me to make her 3 meals a day, whenever she wants. I work nights and nap when the littles nap during the day. She will often wake me up because she wants her bandage changed or food during these times. Last week, she started yelling at my son while he was playing. She also told me that my dogs are poor dogs because I had them crated. It was for 15 minutes while I cleaned the floor in their paws since it was muddy outside. A week ago, she decided to go home. I told my husband I did not want her coming back. I feel it's important I mention there are 4 capable adults living with her that can take care of her. Went out 2 days later and changed her bandage. I spoke with my sister-in-law, 33F, about her coming to get the wound care supplies, even offered to meet her somewhere. Well, she never got them. So fast forward to today, the bandage has not been changed in 5 days. His grandmother and niece, 10F, showed up to our house unannounced at 6:30 a.m., waking all of us, including the babies, up. I was livid. Not only did my husband not talk to her about staying home, but they just showed up early morning without asking. She lacks boundaries, and that's a problem for me. I told my husband I do not want her here as I have too much on my plate. He works 12s, 8 to 8, M to F, so childcare is solely on me during that time due to the baby's schedules. I also work, cook, clean, train, groom, and take care of 3 dogs. We got in a huge argument, and he thinks I'm unreasonable and that his Nana is just a poor old woman who needs help. I left the house with the kids, and he says I'm being a jerk. So, am I the a-hole here? Comment said, not the a-hole. But your husband sure is. I will never understand for the life of me why these am I the a-hole husbands think helping an extended family member at the expense of his family is okay. It's a 1-bedroom apartment for F's sake. He doesn't see the issue because he's not home for the majority of the week. That's effing BS. He's not your employer, he does not get to order you into jobs you don't want. Being a full-time caretaker is a lot already, let alone all the other factors. He should want you to be able to give your children your full attention. She has 4 other adults that can help her. Tell your husband it's buy Nana or buy a wife. His choice. Another comment said, not the a-hole. And Nana can't make her own meals, but she can drive to your home? Something's wrong with that scenario. You have enough responsibility with 2 toddlers and 3 dogs. I can imagine that taking care of your household takes an immense amount of time and energy. Give someone else a turn taking care of inconsiderate Nana. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'll see you again tomorrow.